All right. So meanwhile, over at Matchroom Sport, Eddie Hearn reacts to the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury draw that happened last night. E-King Fight News, and there's more on this. All right. So regardless of what you thought would happen during the 12th round, because that's turned into a hot issue, Eddie Hearn believes that scorecard for Deontay Wilder is completely out of sorts. He basically said, how can any judge have it score 115-111 for Deontay Wilder? He doesn't get that card at all. I mean, that's Wilder by 4 points, 115-111, right? Which means you gave Wilder a handful of rounds, including the two 10-8 rounds in the 9th and the 12th. Man, what a turnaround for Deontay Wilder to pull out 2 knockdowns in the last 4 rounds. And hold on a second. All right. Now, for real, Eddie Hearn is saying, how can a judge... You know how many scoring controversies Eddie Hearn has had? Eddie Hearn fighters, particularly, I would say Anthony Joshua has had plenty of favorable scoring. And I will bring up that Vladimir Klitschko fight. Now, there's no way, in my opinion, Vladimir Klitschko should have been behind on those cards. But guess what? In the UK, guess what happened? AJ would have actually won a decision had that gone the distance. Now that's just, and poor stoppages, don't even get me started with Eddie Hearn. With poor bullshit stoppages all the time. And in this case, Tyson Fury flat out on his back, concussed for 5 seconds. Right? Because Jack Reese started the count at 5. Somehow gets up right at 10, and Reese did not stop the fight. Looking back, timing it, I mean, it was a long count. This was the first long count we've seen in boxing in who knows how long. And Fury somehow got his wits together. He got back up after all that recovery time. It's funny how everything works out. Because Fury gets back up, a whole bunch of recovery time, but he came up a point or two short. Really it was actually 4 points short of a victory on the judge that had Wilder up. But remember, all he had to do was survive the 12th round and he would have won the fight. All he had to do was not get knocked down in the 12th round, and he would have won the fight. He had the fight won going into the 12th. So I can't sit here and call robbery. I can't sit here and call foul. Fury, all you had to do was stay on your feet with Deontay Wilder for 3 more minutes, and he couldn't do it. So, I mean, that's where wins and losses happen. You get knocked down like that in the 12th round, and you got knocked down in the 9th round, judges ain't going to do you any favors. We already know that. So, I mean, it is what it is. This is going to be one of these fights. It's going to be talked about until the rematch happens. It's similar to, I don't want to say it's similar to Canelo Triple G, because that fight didn't have the drama that this fight had. It just didn't. This was, it was a great fight. It delivered. The pay-per-view heavyweight attraction delivered. So that's great for boxing. regardless of what you think, both of these guys got an incredible career high payday. Both of them put themselves in line for mega future matchups with either each other or premier heavyweights in the division, whether it's Anthony Joshua, whether it's Luis Ortiz, whoever it may be, Alexander Usyk, they're all in line. They can make serious money and serious fights, which is great. And for Eddie Hearn to try and shit on the shit on the decision, he was gonna shit on the fight regardless. He was shitting on the fight before the fight, so obviously he's gonna shit on the fight after, right? What did it sell? 17,000, and I think that is more than any of those DAZN cards. I think it is, but hey, it is what it is, man. Tyson Fury, he can say, "Oh, the world knows what happened. The world knows the truth," but all he had to do was stay on his feet for 3 more minutes, and he couldn't do it. He left it in the judges' hands. And you can't trust these judges out here, man. You can't trust all these judges out here, man. How you going to trust 3 judges when you got knocked down twice? How you going to do that shit in a close fight, man? How you going to do that? You damn near got knocked out. Man, this dude got knocked all the way the fuck out. Hold on a second. But you know what? Regardless of what happened Saturday night, it sets up a rematch. But on top of that, these two guys, they took quite a bit of shots, man. They took a lot out of each other, man. I think this was a real intense heavyweight fight. Legitimately could have gone either way. It was called a draw. And that's boxing. Unfortunately, this is the sport of boxing, man. As much as you want to love the sport of boxing, this is what happens in the sport of boxing. Sometimes these guys, not everybody gets a fair shake. And you gotta take the results as they come in, man. I mean, Deontay Wilder, was he behind on the cards? Did he not knock out Tyson Fury in the 12th round? I know what I saw. I saw a whole lot of recovery time, and I don't even want to make a big issue about that, because there's one thing to say recovery time, and it's another thing to actually count the 10 seconds. Because Fury got up right at that last second, and at that point, it's the referee's judgment to call it out. He's got to be on his feet by 10 seconds, and if you're just getting up at 10, the referee, in his own, in that moment, can stop the fight. Jack Reese, for whatever reason, felt like Tyson Fury made it up on time and could continue. So those are the pains of boxing, man. How can you have a referee count to 10, but he actually took 12 seconds to count to 10, right? This is human error. How do you correct it? You can't. You can't. Whatever happens in that moment happens in that, but there's not NFL. There's no instant replay. There's no red flag you can throw in. Oh, I challenged that shit. There's none of that. It's one fight, one opportunity, and Tyson Fury made the most of it, man. He came back, and he's actually the winner. They're both. He's a true winner coming out of this pay-per-view fight. So congratulations to both of them, man. Not a poor account of either Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. You saw the best and worst of both of these guys, and it was a great fight. So that's all I got, man. E-King Fight News. Shout out to Eddie Hearn, man. Shout out to Eddie Hearn, man. He said, what did he say? Who really cares anyways, man? You can't fight news. And we're out.